Howdy y'all, and welcome to my Let's Play of EVE Online. When last we left off, we had finished the military career series, and we were going to begin the industry and business careers in parallel. Because like I said last time, those two series feed off of one another, and you can get rewards from one that will help you in the other. In the meantime, we have gone ahead and fitted our Merlin with our adaptive invulnerability field. And that way, when we turn on our invulnerability field, we will get a 25% reduction to all 4 types of damage to our shields. So that is very helpful. But we also said
Skill training completed.
that we were probably going to have to retire the Merlin for now. We will be flying in a different type of ship in order to do business and industry. And we will begin with industry. And we will take the first mission there. So if we bring it up, we will see that this series is called Making Mountains of Molehills, 1 of 10. The objective of the very first mission is to acquire some Veldspar. Veldspar is the most common type of ore in all of EVE. It is everywhere. And therefore it is the most inexpensive to buy and the cheapest to sell. Because it is so common. Almost every system you fly to, whether it's a 1.0 or a negative 1.0, is going to have Veldspar in it. But they want us to find some. They want us to find 100 cubic meters of it. And they want us to do that in a specific location. Now, this is something a lot of new players will not understand right away. Missions, these career missions, when they tell you to go do something and they give you a specific location to do it in, you must perform the action at that location or you will not get credit for the entire mission. Like, I could buy 100 cubic meters of Veldspar off of the regional market, and it would check mark that I now have 100 cubic meters of Veldspar, but I did not travel to the specific location and I did not mine the Veldspar at that location, so this would never turn into a check mark, which means I could never complete the mission. And that is something that a lot of new players don't intuitively think about. They just see, I need to get 100 cubic meters, I need to drop it off back here, so I need to undock and find the first asteroid belt that I can find, get some Veldspar, come back, and boom, I'm done with the mission. It doesn't work that way. The mission requires you to go to a specific location in order to do the mining. Now, a couple of things. First, when we accept the mission, we are going to get a Miner 1 item. This item is something that you fit onto your ship. It allows you to extract ore from asteroids. In order to fit it, it goes in a high power slot. It would if you had guns in a ship, it would replace those guns or missile launchers. You would have to take those out in order to put a miner into it. Okay, so that is something to keep in mind. The requirements to fit it require you to have mining level 1, and everybody starts with mining level 1. Now when we finish, we will come back and we will get industry skill book that we will be able to train industry with, and if we do it in 3 hours 32 minutes, we will get 153 ISK. Now, since this is a transport mission, we're going to have to put up some collateral. Because we are transporting some items for a particular person. And in order to do that, they require collateral. They will hold the money as collateral to make sure you take the item to the location you say you take it to, and when you get there and you complete the mission, you'll then get that money back. Okay? So, what we need to do is go ahead and accept the mission, and here's Aura again. Aura is going to tell us about mining. Mining is one of the most lucrative professions, particularly for a new player. New players can make a lot of ISK mining ore, the different types of ore, especially those who are adventurous enough to go into low-sec or null-sec space and get the rarer, more expensive ores and haul them back and take that risk that someone's going to blow up your ship and take your ore. But if you're successful, if you follow some common sense guidelines, then and you make it back, then you can make a lot of ISK very quickly by mining. So Aura just says that it's a very good career path to take if you want to make some ISK. It requires you to mine ore from asteroids, reprocess that ore into minerals, and those minerals can then be used to create items or ships or player-owned space stations. Basically everything in EVE can be player-made, and it is made with different types of minerals that come from different types of ores. Okay. To start out with, a new player would only want to sell the ore. They would not have the skills necessary to reprocess it and make a profit on trying to sell the minerals. If you want to do reprocessing, you have to spend a good chunk of time training the necessary skills to reprocess ore into a sufficient amount of minerals so that you can it would be profitable to do so rather than just selling the ore itself. All right. Also, locate an asteroid field. Okay, she wants us to go locate an asteroid field. Now, let's see, because I don't remember if this is the case, if we got a ship to look at. Nope, they've not given us a different type of ship. So, can we hold 100? Yes, we could hold 100 cubic meters. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to get to our ship fitting, and we're going to take off one of these railguns. We're going to remove the module completely, and we are going to fit a miner module on here to begin with. So now we'll close out of these, we will undock, and we will go mine some ore. Alright, locating an asteroid field. Asteroids are found in asteroid belts, located in most solar systems, marked on the overview with a triangle. Okay? The asteroids themselves would be marked as a triangle, not the belts. And what we can do, asteroid belts do not have an infinite supply. That's right, you can mine an asteroid down to 0. You can mine an asteroid belt of all the asteroids in it. Asteroid belts replenish every day when the server is restarted. CCP restarts the server daily. It occurs at 11 local time for CCP. They are in Norway, however. So that is approximately 5 a.m. Eastern time. Right? That would be that would be 2 a.m. Pacific if you're out on the West Coast. But that is when the servers are brought down and restarted. And whenever they come back up, asteroid fields are repopulated throughout the entire galaxy. Okay, We can go ahead and click next. Different asteroid, yes, different asteroids have different types of minerals in them. Veldspar will yield tritanium. Tritanium is the most common mineral, comes from Veldspar, which is the most common ore. That mineral is used in everything that is created in Eve. Every single ship, every single item, every single space station module, planet module, anything that's made in Eve will require at least some tritanium to make it. Now, what I was going to show you over here is a web page that I have bookmarked showing all the different types of ores and where they are located, and the types of minerals that they give. So let's make this a little bit larger. In the middle here, the blue is Veldspar. It only gives you tritanium. Okay, that is found in 1.0 or less security space. You can find Veldspar anywhere. You can also find Scordite, this one right here, in 1.0 space or less. It can be found anywhere in the galaxy as well. It's just not as common as Veldspar, but it will return tritanium and pyrite as minerals when it is reprocessed. And then as you go further out on the circles, the lower your security clearance goes and the different types of ores you will find. Now, you will also find different types of ores in different civilizations, parts of the galaxy. In Caldari space, you will find pyroxers in 08 to 09 space, or lower. In Minmatar and Galante space, you will find plagioclase rather than pyroxeres. In Caldari space, you have to go to 07 to 05 to find the plagioclase, and in Galante and Minmatar, they don't have pyroxeres at all in their space. They would have to come to either Caldari or Amar space in order to get that particular ore. Now, the ores do overlap. For instance, pyroxeres gives nosicum, this little purple thing here. In Galante space, you can find that particular mineral in jaspit in 04 to 03 space. So you don't, you would have to go to Losec, which is 04 to 01, in order to get Noxium from ore in Galante, while in Caldari, they only have to go to 07 to 05. They can stay in HiSec, but the Caldari have to go to Losec to find Isogen, which is right here, whereas Galante can find Isogen in Umber, which is in their HiSec area. So it's kind of a balance. It goes back and forth. It just depends on exactly what you're looking for. But this is a very good map. The URL is up here at the top if you want to copy it. It is a very good way of knowing where you need to go and in what security system you need to find the different ores to find the different minerals. So we'll go ahead and close that out. In order to find a random asteroid belt, if you go to a system and you just want to mine some asteroids, you right-click in empty space, go to asteroid belts, you will get a list of the asteroid belts that are located in this system. That does not necessarily mean that there are asteroids in that system. These asteroid belts could have already been mined out by somebody else. But every single day, Euetra will populate 4 asteroid belts for people to mine asteroids from. Now, we are going to go to a specific asteroid belt that was generated for us based upon our mission. Okay? So, in order to do that, we need to come over to our agent window and we need to warp to the location of our mission.
Warp drive active.
Something else to note about random asteroid belts that are just located within the system, they will sometimes have pirates located in them as well. NPC pirate ships. And these pirates will try to destroy whatever ship shows up into that asteroid belt. So if you have a mining ship that you are taking with you, you might either want to put a gun on it to protect yourself, or if it has a drone bay, the better approach is to put combat drones in your drone bay and then leave your high ship slots available for mining lasers and allow your drones to protect your mining ship rather than you having to shoot things directly. Now, Aura said there should be an asteroid here. I'm gonna guess that's the asteroid. It is. But if we couldn't find this asteroid, we could create a new tab, which I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna call this tab Asteroids. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the Asteroids tab, right click on it, and load a default tab. The default tab I want to load is a mining default tab, which is a list of filters that CCP has put in place that are common to people who are doing mining. Now, if I select my Asteroids tab, my asteroid shows up in the overview, and I can click on it, I can target it, I can approach it. In order to use a mining laser, you must be within 10 kilometers. So we are definitely within that. I will go ahead and activate the mining laser. And you can either just sit in space with your ship not moving and mine, or you can orbit an asteroid if you want to have your ship moving around. Either way, as long as you are within 10 kilometers and your mining lasers are active, you will mine ore from the asteroid. If we look into our cargo hold, once this mining laser makes a complete cycle, we should see some Veldspar appear in our cargo hold. And Aura is just here telling us that in order to mine an asteroid, you do have to have it target locked to work. There we are. And he says we need 1,000 units, which translates to 100 cubic meters. So we will allow the mining laser to continue. If we look at our details, you will now notice that we now have a check mark in the location position. That's why it is important to travel to the specific location that the mission gives you rather than just a random asteroid belt to try and get your Veldspar. Because unless you get this green check mark, you cannot complete the mission. So we will just wait for this to take another cycle. Something else to keep in mind. You can fit, if you have the high slot space, you can fit more than one mining laser on your ship. And each laser will collect a certain amount of ore based upon your skills in mining, how good the laser is. This is a miner 1, there are miner 2s, there are strip mining lasers, and all of that will increase the amount of ore that you mine in a particular cycle of the laser. And the more lasers you have, of course, the more ore you will get when each of them cycle. This one is almost done. And there. We have a full cargo hold. The laser automatically turned off. If your cargo hold or ore hold fills up, your mining lasers will automatically turn off. Now, if you are using mining drones, those drones will also automatically stop mining, but they will not automatically go back into your drone bay. You will still have to scoop them up before you warp back to the station or the Stargate or wherever it is you're taking the ore. If you warp without scooping your drones back into your drone bay, you will just leave them out in space at the asteroid belt. So we will switch back over to our default overview, and we will go back to the station to drop off this ore.
Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Alright, we are back here. She says to click next. She talks about jet can mining. Jet can mining is still used to some degree in EVE, especially if you're in a corporation where you have people that will go out and protect you as you mine and protect the transports that run back and forth to pick up the jet cans. What it is, basically, you fill up your ore hold with ore and then you jettison it in a jet can out into space so that you can continue mining. Someone else comes along, hopefully in your corporation or a friend that you know, picks up the jet can, transports it back to a space station while you continue to mine. It helps miners to be more efficient in their mining rather than filling up their ore hold and then they themselves having to travel back to a station, unload the ore, and then travel back to the asteroid belt and then continue to mine. But if you're alone, if you're solo, don't try to jet can mine, because likely someone can just come along, pick up the ore that you mined, and warp away. And since you're in a miner rather than a combat ship, there's probably not a whole lot you would be able to do about that. So if you are solo, the recommendation is to just fill up your ore hold, take it back to a station, dump it in the item hangar, undock, go back to mining. And cooperation mining ventures, that's what we talked about. And if you want to know more, you can click on the mining thing to bring up the help. We don't really need to know more than that. We have a full cargo hold. We want to get rid of that, so we'll dump it in the item hangar. We will talk to our industry guy, and we will complete this mission. Alright. And that should give us our skill book. Notice we had 260 left over. We'll keep that for now. That could become helpful later on. But we get industry. Let's take a look at this. Industry allows basic operation of factories, a 4% reduction in manufacturing time per skill level. This will be extremely important later on in our industry series, so we will want to go ahead and start training this immediately. So we'll get the first level underway so that we can use it when the time comes. Now, this video has gone on about long enough, so I'm going to take a break here. When we come back, we will continue the industry career. We may start to dabble in the business career as well. But until next time, I am Sunder, and I will see you later.